And we're on. Are we not?
We are. Hello, everyone. How's everyone this afternoon? As you can see, we got two cameras going
Woo!
um,
It's getting all fancy up in here.
because we're trying to, so we have the two screens going, so you can see our new backgrounds. So
No, Bob, we are not going to do what you did, and we're not going to interview each ourselves.
yeah, it's like, hey Tracy, what do you think about traveling to
Well,
Baja?
no, it's not doing it. I'm not doing it. That's. I'll leave that to Bob. He's good at that.
So just do a sound check. Everything sounds good. Everything looks good. Everyone, just let us know in the chat.
I'm drunk again? No. No. We're just drinking coffee, Papa Drew.
It's surprising that the coffee pot lasted all day.
I can't believe it did. I cannot, honestly. And it was raining today, so now it's really muggy and warm in the camper.
Yeah.
And I don't know if the air conditioner will kick on, but I hope not, because then I can't hear anything. It's very loud.
Yeah, we may have to go turn that off. So let's see anything in the comments regarding sound check. Sound great.
Oh,
Sound good.
Amanda said
Awesome.
sounds good. Yep.
Okay, awesome. We never know, it's like, is this on?
Don't do that.
So we're going to change our logo today. Today's episode or today's chat is brought to you by Discover Baja. We did contact them. We wanted to see if they would join us.
Yeah.
Uh, Hang on. We'll be right back. Can you turn that? No, I'll do it. I'll do it.
Well, no, I can do it. See, did you hear? Can you hear the air conditioner? It's really loud.
So, hey, two cameras. I guess that's from being video makers. It's kind of cool. But it's the only way to get the two screens.
Up or down, Papa? I can't remember.
You put the temperature up. Temperature up. Yeah. And that'll stop it for a little bit. Quite the delay. So we spent some time kind of playing with this kind of overlays and backgrounds and put a little bit more information on our why am I blanking out here?
Attention.
On our charities. So our Southern Baja charities, we support two dog rescues. One is in San Jose, and the other one is in Cabo San Lucas, and also feed Los Cabos kids. So we just thought we'd put that in there for you.
Oh.
And we are back.
And we're back.
So I know Papa Drew has a lot of interest on traveling to Mexico, hopefully after Quartzsite, and that would be awesome. We're kind of excited about that at that prospect because it's always a lot more fun traveling in a group, especially if you've never been somewhere. And Mexico can be a little scary to some, but really Baja, there's no reason to be afraid of Baja. And the paperwork that is needed to get across is very simple.
Yeah.
It's really no different than when you're traveling by plane. You still have to fill out the tourist information card. And you can have it all pre-done online and prepaid, and you just show up at the border and they just stamp it. If you're traveling with animals, then you just got to make sure that you have your vet certificates, I think within 30 days of crossing the border, that their shots are all up to date. I think it's 3 years, on the rabies and, all the shots. And they have to have seen, I think, a vet within 30 days or something, that a vet has certified that they're in good health. But there's great information on the Mexican border website, and there is both an English and a Spanish version of that. Howdy. Everybody's saying hi. So we did not hear back from Discover Baja. We didn't leave them much time. I'm not even sure if they're working out of the office. They might still be working remotely.
You okay?
Because of the My Sharona virus. So, who has does anybody have any questions about traveling
Well,
in Baja in terms of driving across the border and down to Baja?
Papa Drew has lots and lots of questions, he says, but Burn Up the Road said you only get one.
Oh, oh, I don't know, Papa Drew. Do you want to come on? It probably could be easier.
It would be easier
What do you think?
because I'm not good at the chat. Like I can see what you guys are saying, but it's easier to talk to somebody. Oh, insurance. Burn Up the Roads asked about insurance.
Hmm. So we'll see if anybody wants to come up and just kind of have some fun just hanging out with us this afternoon. We know Papa Drew has a ton of questions. Anybody else that has lots of questions? Maybe we'll start with people who only have one question.
Papa Drew's at work. He can't.
He can't. Okay. Okay. Let's see. So
Want to travel to Mexico.
what I'll do is I'll bring up the website.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So
Everything is pretty much on that website, is it not? Like that
yeah,
we needed?
yeah,
For
we'll
sure.
we'll take you through there.
About the
And
dogs and about animals.
I think a lot of it, like I think 95% of what you need for information you will find through your travel club. We just happened to go with Discover Baja. We did ask the Facebook kind of travel Mexico groups, and that's the one that kept coming up the most.
Yeah.
There are others, but this one seems to be the ones that people really like, and they have good reviews.
Papa
Drew,
Drew's
I'm thinking about, San Felipe RV for sure. And so today we can talk about, the travel clubs, the paperwork, the insurance. We can focus on getting across the border. Um, so let's start with that. And maybe as we go along, we can talk about, oh, well, where can we go? Which border crossings the best, or best based on which border crossing you take. Which highway are you going down, and what are the kind of some of the things to see?
Right. Basically, if you want to throw up that picture, do you have one of all three border crossings or no? Not
No,
yet.
no.
Okay. Anyway, there's three major ones, right?
Hmm.
So there's Tijuana.
There's Tijuana, Mexicali, and well, hang on, Tijuana, Tecate,
That's it.
and then
Mexicali.
Mexicali, and then there's more as you go down, towards Texas. But
We have taken all three. Because you came with me when I had my surgery. I had surgery in Tijuana and we went on the bus. So that was a little different. We crossed in Tijuana with a bus. That was a little different than taking an RV. So not sure about that one, but nobody says too much about that one. They don't like crossing there, right? They mostly like to cross at Tecate and Mexicali, right? Tecate was pretty easy.
Tecate is a very small border crossing. It's probably the easiest. There's parking just before the border crossing, so you can park your rig, and there's big parking lots. So you can even go in there with a Class A or a big fifth wheel and park there and just walk to the border, and you walk to get your paperwork stamped, your FMM, which is your tourist visa. And if you have it pre-done through your travel agency, so for example, Discover Baja, you can have it done prior to and print it off. So it's prepaid. So all you need at that point is the stamp.
Right.
And you get it stamped, then you go through the border, you go across the street, and then you walk back towards the US side. It's still the Mexican border, and you're allowed to do that because you're coming across the border, but now you got to go get your vehicle, so they allow you to do that. So then you walk back across, you go get your vehicle. Now you can drive across and show the visa that you have stamped. And the reason why you have to do that is that because you're in an RV, you can't really hold up the line. It's kind of a weird thing, but Tecate is friendlier for if you're going by with a big rig. All right, so I did put this up. Okay, Explorer. we can certainly talk about composting toilet. It's not off topic. Nothing's off topic.
No.
Actually, I was looking at somebody's install on their airhead, I believe.
Yeah.
Not ours, the
Not
other one.
ours. The
The
other
other
one.
one. And in terms of composting toilet, what is it exactly that you, let's see, what is it? Guys,
In the
I
beginning,
commented earlier, yeah, commented about composting toilet earlier in the beginning. Are you able to, okay, let me see here. Sorry, we didn't, oh, okay. Uh, Planning on putting a composting toilet. Let's do this one here. Putting a composting toilet in my truck camper, contemplating between Nature's Head and Airhead. There you
oh,
go.
okay.
I I have enough space for both, but I would like your guys' input. Okay, so I just saw somebody's install. I couldn't tell you who it is, but it is somebody within our community here. And they just put out the video. So what I saw about we went with the Airhead, but they installed a Nature's Head. And I think if I was to go back, I haven't told Tracy this because I was watching it alone, but I would probably go with the Nature's Head. Now, the reason why we went with the Airhead is that we liked the toilet seat. It was more
Yeah.
like a real
Like a
toilet,
normal
a nice
toilet.
comfy seat. Whereas the Nature's Head is like a bench, there's no seat. Like you open the lid and it's like, think of it as sitting on the toilet without a seat. You know, if you put the seat up and try to sit on
So
the toilet,
it's kind of like a an outhouse.
well, it's just not as comfy. It's not like your residential toilet seat. But the Nature's Head is more compact. It seems easier to get into the liquid tank, and more importantly, is the media, the solid media turning handle is a lot more compact. We had to get a special handle because the actual crank handle, they have a crank one instead of like bars that spin,
Right.
and we didn't have enough room at that point.
No.
We couldn't get the crank in there. And so there's a special adapter that makes it just like a square fitting. And we actually use a combination wrench to actually spin it
Instead of the crank.
because there's not enough leverage to get your hand around
Yeah.
once there's a little bit of weight in there. So that is the kind of short answer. Now, in terms of composting toilet versus RV toilet, well, there's really it's no decision for us. It's hands down. We went with the composting toilet because we boondock on our land.
Yeah.
So composting toilet was a must. And it's so good for us. We love it because not only do we not produce any black tank sewage,
That comes up. Can you get rid of that, or does it automatically come?
it's hang
It's
on.
on your phone.
Yeah, it's my phone. Give me one sec, guys. All I keep doing is snoozing them through my interface here. But
There we go.
let me try sharing the Chrome tab instead of Chrome tab. And we want Discover Baja. There we go. Then we
There.
won't get those silly notifications
Perfect. Well,
anymore.
sorry about that, honey. Keep
So
going.
yeah, so that's where we're at with that. Let me see. The comments are gone. Let me get the banner gone. So that's distracting. That's interesting that doesn't.
See, you're talking about the toilet.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that the screen doesn't fill that completely. So we're done with the toilet, unless if you have a follow-up questions, leave it in the comment below. Well, no, that doesn't work. I'm just trying to.
I still got.
It's kind of funny that the website share does not. That's kind of weird. Very, very weird. I thought I had another one, but that didn't have the bottom.
That's
the
fine.
bottom stuff.
That's fine.
Okay, so we'll get rid of that. There is the website. And we'll just quick. So here's your Mexican insurance. So look at that. All the information is there. And that's exactly how we get our auto insurance. There's different levels, I think 2 levels of auto insurance. So you can get your quick quote. we'll log in, and once you enter your information in terms of your vehicle information and all that wonderful stuff, renewal is really easy at that point. But the first time, there's a fair bit of information to put in. Yeah, there's a lot of information to put in, and but you only have to put it once. Then the website will remember all your account information. So it was really easy for us to renew for the second year. It's literally click a button. We just reviewed the value of the vehicles because every year they get cheaper. So we did that. Kind of just reviewed that and just say renew us for another year. So that's how easy that was. Okay, so Explorer, that is Explore. Well, that's great. If you have any questions on the install, there's lots of great videos on there, but feel free to drop us an email at tumbleweedrvlife@gmail, and we can try to hook up maybe on a messenger video. And certainly we're always open to have a chat and help fellow RVers go through the process. Same thing with solar. Feel free to contact us anytime. We'd love to talk.
It's always nice having somebody that has either gone through it or is going through it with you. It's a lot easier. Papa Drew said that he would like us to be on his chat at some point.
Yes, I saw that. So absolutely, just
right there.
This one. This one here. I got in big trouble. Never use the express lane.
Yeah. When you go through the border, if you don't have your stamp. Yes.
Oh yeah.
We got lucky actually. We just thought, well, we'll wing it. We went through, and we were told not to do that. We were told to park before you cross, go get everything done, go get the stamp, go get all that done, then drive up and then go through. Well, we didn't.
Well, Tecate is not a big border.
It's not.
The night before I asked again, I really didn't want to park. That's just it. I didn't want to leave the RV. But we got there very early in the morning. There was really no traffic at the border. We were able to stop the camper. They had us open the slides. They went in, so they inspected inside the camper. So they did the inside inspection. And then we just walked over to the office. Actually, they did the inspection. Then they had us actually go through the border, go around the block, and then come back via the side street and park. So if you're coming through the border this way, we went around and then parked right on the side street, and then we went in, stamped the paperwork, and then we were good to go from there. So, but it's better to park the rig. So that's just a very small border crossing, and we were really lucky that there was nobody at the border. There was 2 lanes. We would only held up 1 lane. So it's not like we would have blocked, complete traffic going through the Tecate border. Most everybody says avoid like the plague. Tijuana. Tijuana is crazy. There's a lot of people, because it's so close to San Diego and LA and all that. There's a lot of people that come through that border, regardless of time of day. We came back through Mexicali, and it was in the afternoon, and we were rushing, and because of the My Sharona Cyrus, the east border closed at 3, and we got there at 3:10. So then we had to go along the border fence to the west border, and it took us 2 hours.
That was long. Oh my God.
And merchants trying to sell you stuff for 2 hours.
Yes.
And every 5 minutes you're moving forward 1 car length. Like that's how painful it was.
It was painful, and I was so glad we actually had money in the car, because normally we didn't. And we were able to buy stuff in the lane, food wise, drink wise, whatever, because we actually didn't know how long it was going to be, and we were getting hungry going through the just getting to the border. We were so hungry, so it was a good thing we had money on us, right? We were able to buy stuff to eat.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't get into the camper, because obviously you have to open everything up, and you're in a traffic jam, if you want to call it that. So.
Well, that's awesome. Other fellow campers trying to get on the road.
Oh yes, I see that.
Yeah. If we weren't so busy, kind of on the home front. We had a lot of home things to do. We would have camped around here. We would have probably gone north. Last year we kind of went south and west, and I think
Oh.
and I think we would have
Are
gone
you okay,
north
baby?
this year. There's some beautiful lakes up in
Come
northern
on.
Saskatchewan,
Come sit.
so that would have
Come.
been awesome, but not to be. We were waiting for the latest grandchild, and probably any day now within the next couple of weeks.
Okay. You guys need to pick a spot so I can, so I have room too.
Okay. Does anybody want to come on too? We can just have this as a chit chat.
I just seen you, my cell phone, and
So,
oh, Papa Drew said he sent the cell phone on Instagram.
he what? He did what?
He sent the cell phone number on Instagram.
Oh, okay. To chat.
I don't know what that meant. Right there. You just hit it. You went too far. Right
I
there.
sent you my cell phone number. Okay. Good thing I reactivated our US plan. We can call anywhere for unlimited now. So yes, cell phone is great.
So pretty much you covered insurance. We talked about the toilet, but covered insurance. The dogs. That's on there too, right? I
Yeah.
think someone had mentioned about the dogs. How do you, what is the process to get your pets across?
Hi, you. What is it? Every time we live
I don't
stream,
know what it is.
all of a sudden the dogs get.
Oh, Amanda said the baby kicked when we mentioned the baby.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he's going to be coming, I think, Amanda. I have a feeling, and I know that you do because you're the one that's pregnant.
So I'm kind of clicking on the website here. But I don't see the equivalent effect happening on the stream here unless there's a big delay on the stream.
There is because I don't see it either, and I'm on my website, my.
So if you look at the screen, so the tabs, before you go, auto insurance, Baja info. There is in the Baja info tab, there is such great information there. I'm going to try to unshare that. Let me try to put it back on. For some reason, it just won't. It's not updating. It's not actually updating on the screen. But the before you go info tab has a lot of great information for your planning. But the Baja info has a lot of guides, road conditions, which is really important. You also, with your membership, you also get kind of a discount list of different places you can go and you can get discounts. Um, there are trips and tour guides. There's event calendars. So there's a lot of great information there. Even if you're not a member, you can get some great information from the website. So you're.
I think Papa Drew's question is, how are you able to work in Baja? I'm not too sure. So his last part there. So I have been looking at.
This one here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't.
At buying an RV paid like at an RV park, how do that work? Okay. So I imagine so is this about working in Mexico or
Or the RV
I'm
park.
looking at buying an RV like in Mexico or in the US and taking it to Mexico? That's kind of two different questions. So anything in Mexico is fairly easy to buy. I mean, if you buy something in Mexico, it can stay in Mexico. I wouldn't try to bring anything home from Mexico. If you bring your own RV into Mexico, then you need vehicle insurance. So if you have a tow vehicle, you need insurance for the tow vehicle, and you need one for the RV, boats, quads, ATVs, side by sides, razors. You can bring all this across the border, but they have to all be separately insured.
Yeah.
And through the website, as I showed on the previous kind of on the previous tab. We'll see if we can try to get that again. Add to stream. So there it is. There it is. And it's not updating, so we'll stop sharing. We'll try another approach here. We'll go back to screen 2, share, and yes. Okay. So then you need that. Then you need to insure. Now, if you're going to Baja, that's all you need. And then the pets, right? The vet certificates. If you're going into Mexico mainland, then there's one additional piece that you have to get done, and that's the VIP, the Vehicle Import Permit. What is, don't ask me why they do that, but it's a pain in the, you know what? But they're assuming that if you take a vehicle down there that you're going to sell it.
Yes.
And that's pretty common, so that's why they have you do an import permit. So you pay the import tax when you come in. They give you a sticker that goes onto the windshield. So now you're technically a Mexican vehicle. You have your Mexican insurance at that point. Now, when you go home and take the vehicle back home and you cross the border, before you go through U.S. Customs, you stop on the Mexican side. There is a place to return your VIP sticker. And at that point, it's when you return, and you must return the sticker. If you don't, there's big troubles next time you try to bring that vehicle back.
Actually, I don't think you can bring it back.
I don't think you can. I think it's banned at that point.
Yes.
You'll have all kinds of trouble, all kinds of hurt. But you turn in the sticker, and they give you the vehicle import tax back. I think they keep the fee. There's a fee portion on that. Can't remember how much it is, maybe $50. But the actual import duty is returned to you at that point.
Okay, what Papa Drew was asking is that he wants to get land to park the RV on, and like in the US, can I buy land and then park the RV on it, and do I have to own the land if I buy it in Mexico?
Okay, so the question is, that's also a very complicated kind of it's not that complicated.
No, it's not.
The short answer is yes, you can buy land in Mexico.
Yes, you can park an RV.
And you can park an RV. You can also park an RV if somebody will let you park an RV on their land, if they lease you the land. But in terms of purchase, you can purchase land. If it is within, I think, something like 10, 12 miles of the ocean, then you have to buy it through a bank trust. So technically the bank owns the land and you own it, you own the trust certificate. But then you just renew the bank trust every year, and it costs us
like taxes.
Yeah,
kind of.
It's like, well, you got to pay tax, land tax too. Land tax too is like $70 a year for our land. But the bank trusts we have two, so we have two lots, so it's 600 USD per year for us to maintain our land in Mexico. And as you saw from our intro, which we just did today, has more pictures than our previous outro. So there's pictures there all the way to the point where we left, so which is in May. Right now we're editing February still, so there's some little previews in the outro and intro, and you can see from the drone shot all the work that we did on our land. That's where we left our stuff there, like the tanks and the piping and the shower and the sunshade, slash palapa. And yeah, that's our land, and we leave our stuff there. So that is the short answer. Now, if you're Mexican, you can buy land anywhere, regardless how close it is to the ocean. The other way of buying land is that if you have a Mexican corporation, you can buy land through the corporation, even within the proximity of an ocean, without having to go through a bank trust. However, that's a whole level of complexity that we weren't willing to go through in terms of setting up a Mexican corporation. It felt complicated, and I could hear the lawyers going ka-ching, ka-ching instead, and accountants. So we'd rather just pay the 600 a year for the 2 lots. So think of it about 300 a year for one trust, and be done with it. And as long as you maintain that bank trust, you own that land.
Yeah. So that's basically it. You can park an RV and you can own land. It's just unless you are an actual um, Mexican citizen, you don't really. It's not really yours.
Hmm.
So like Manuel, like our son Manuel, he bought land and it is his. It's his land, his property, his dirt. That's his spot.
Yeah. So Papa Drew asks, are you worried about prices going up with a bank trust? I think it's a little bit like notary fees. Like this is a fee schedule that is, I believe, regulated by the government. It's not something that the banks charge willy-nilly. It's like our bank fees and all that, right? The banks all stay very competitive. And I think there's no problem if we wanted to change banks, just like if you wanted to change, banks with your mortgage, or it's the same thing, you just carry it somewhere else. There's probably fees involved, but never really gave that any thought. And so far, for 3 years in a row now, the fee hasn't even gone up. It's been the same fee. I think probably because it's in US dollars. We would see increases if it was in pesos because of the loss of value of the peso.
Yeah,
All right. This is awesome. These are great questions,
they are
guys.
great questions.
So, one of the questions that we get to is like, is it dangerous, to cross into Mexico? And, I think everything has a certain amount of risk, and the border towns are a little bit riskier, like Tijuana. During the day, go through there, be done with it. The one rule of thumb is you never, ever, and I mean ever, travel at night. Get to where you're going an hour or two before sunset, even, by 3 in the afternoon, because, you know, for us, it's very weird that the sun sets, very quickly down south. Up north here, we get dusk and dawn, lasts forever. As you get closer to the equator, when the sun goes below the horizon, within 10, 20 minutes, it's dark. It's completely dark. So you don't want to be traveling at night. You don't want to be crossing borders at night. That is just the biggest no-no. That being said, during the day, then there's different risks. Then you have basically the police. Border towns, they're just dying to get you. And that is the reason why we have 2 dash cams.
Yes.
We bought one. We didn't like it. It was a little cheap. We ended up putting it in the RV here as internal camera for the inspections. We have big signs, both in English and in Spanish, that smile. You're on video camera, right? You're being recorded.
You want to
So
show? I think you showed it before.
yeah, I showed it before.
Go back to the regular picture. Yeah.
So
And just
here,
turn
so
it towards the
so
go
see.
down.
Well, wait a minute. The
Oh,
cam's above the TV, and then the signs are just below that.
yeah. And one is in Spanish and one is in English.
There you go. So, so the biggest risk we saw when we were doing our research was the cops shaking you down. Oh, you went through a stop sign. See, Mexicans don't stop at stop signs. They barely stop at red lights. Uh, so stop signs are basically yield signs to, I'm not even going to slow down because there's nobody coming in the other direction. So when we went through Tecate, we had seen a video of and seen some Facebook posts that people were caravanning, and the person in the back of the caravan got pulled over and said that they blew the stop sign and blah blah blah, and they probably did. So when we go through Mexican towns, every town we come, and I mean a complete stop, not even a rolling, slightly rolling stop. We actually stop and then go. And there's this one town we counted. There was what, 10 stop signs to get
10
to get
stop.
to.
Actually,
down
it was
the
11.
11 stop signs,
That was insane.
going through this town, and we stopped at every single one. The locals think you're nuts.
Yeah.
Now, when we're in Cabo, when we drive like the locals.
Yes.
It's like we become local. People recognize us. Like, first of all, there's not that many 450s. Actually, there's no other 450s down there. So our truck was very distinctive. Everybody knew who we were, even though we don't have decals on the truck. But we were perceived as locals, and we drive like locals, which means whatever the other guys do, we do too.
Yes.
Except when we're on the RV and we're coming down the Baja Highway. Okay, let's see.
Exactly.
I would want a nice size plot of land. I can build a little house on and park the RV next to it on the water for the winters. That is awesome.
Yep.
I think
That's our plan.
I mean, that was our well, it wasn't even our dream. We kind of stumbled up. We stumbled on this. We were initially trying to look for a condo, in Cabo San Lucas, but then it's like we found Cabo itself very noisy and dirty and dusty, and so we started going out of Cabo, going further and further out, and sort of kind of realized that condo was not really the way we wanted. And we walked in, we saw a sign at a realtor, close to, we walked by this realtor every day, and it wasn't one of the big, real estate houses that have the big glossy pictures and they're selling the $1 million properties. This was a smaller realtor that was actually selling a lot of lots and smaller properties. So when we saw something we could afford, which was land, we walked in and checked it out. And
But there's a good story there because we were actually walking by to go to our favorite hangout, and we just stopped in on a whim. And what did they say? It just happened, but not really. It was like good timing. They say that, and it was perfect timing because she was selling the lots that we bought, and there was only three. I think there was only three left, and
yeah, I think
we went to go see the
there
one.
was one of the big ones
Mhm.
which we couldn't afford, and the R2 lots, which was kind of mid-size, and then
No, eight too. There
yeah,
was
and
three.
two lots that were mid-size, and then eight, which was kind of a weird shape.
But that's the one
It,
we went to go see, though, Christian.
it's
Was
the one
eight.
we could afford, but it was the least desirable, and just the way it was set up. So then Mama saw a cactus, a big cactus, on one of the lots, and so she wanted that lot. I didn't want that lot. I wanted the one next to it because it was further away from the road that was coming up into the subdivision. So we ended up buying two. So we stretched. It wasn't, by all means, we weren't rich. So we actually cashed in some retirement savings and rolled the dice.
Yeah.
Now you just don't want to buy any land. You just got to make sure that it's a reputable real estate agent.
Yes.
I wouldn't deal. Sorry, I wouldn't deal. I hate to say it, but I wouldn't deal with Mexican realtors. I would deal with somebody that comes from the U.S., has been down there forever, has their real estate license, and can check that the lots are properly subdivided and that the titles are clear.
Like I'm gonna say I don't know, it just luck. I don't know what you want to call it, but our realtor actually is an architect as well, so she knows all about um the land. What did you just say?
Land titles.
Land titles and all that stuff. So that was really fortunate. But Papa Drew is thinking more lines of buying somewhere by San Felipe.
I imagine that's going to be expensive per acre. Um, it's close to the border. You can people from like San Diego and
Hmm. It's closer.
California and Arizona. It's a day's drive, right, to get to your property. It's going to be more expensive. You know, even us. I mean, there was no nice land really around Cabo San Lucas, and a lot of the stuff around Todos Santos was expensive. It was more house building type lot. So I mean, going half an hour north of Todos Santos, which is now an hour and a half north of Cabo San Lucas, out in the middle of nowhere. That's where every 10 minutes north of Todos Santos, the land value or the land cost drops in half, and then another half, and then another half. So, when we bought, uh, it was 4 times less for the same land in town than in town to buy where we bought. And we were so much happier in the end that it was isolated. Initially, I know I was concerned that this was out in the middle of nowhere. What about security? Are we going to be safe out there? Terrified of
Banditos?
no
Oh, scorpion?
scorpions and snakes.
But yeah, I saw a scorpion and it landed on, it was right on my foot when I was digging, and I didn't even realize it was there. It was like, it was on my foot. I didn't even realize it was there when I was building the extension to the duck and the chicken coop. Then I looked down, it was there, and then did you? I don't even know if you heard me scream. I'm sure the neighbors did.
Yeah, that's it's like, oh, okay. So you each got your
Oh,
own lot.
yeah, that's
Here,
right.
here, I'll go back up. Uh, I'll go back up a little bit.
I said, yeah, I just told her that, yeah, I got the one with the cacti and Papa got his.
Yeah, uh, yeah, but in the end, it's like we're so torn because the lot that's further in off the road is rectangular. It's kind of thin this way, and as soon as we want to start putting a house this way, we start impeding on the other lot, on the other lot. And to build something nice, we'd almost have to say, okay, these two lots will always be together. It's our house, and we're going to treat it as one lot, one acre lot. Um, so we are wrestling with that a little bit. Uh, if you look at on the outro, near the end of the outro, there's a drone shot just before we leave, and you'll see the ropes just to the right of the camper. You'll see that there's demarcation where we roped off potential for a house. And every time we played with it and we started turning it on an angle so that we didn't have to look at the neighbor's house, then all of a sudden we'd run out of room between the two fence lines. So it's having a little bit more room. Papa Drew is probably better, but it has to be balanced with against cost. Okay, Papa Drew with labor. Okay, in Mexico, at least our experience, we were told, and we have experienced this, is that there's three prices to everything. There's the tourist price,
Gringo.
the gringo price, and the local Mexican price.
You said 3.
I said three. That is three. The tourist price, the gringo price, and the local price.
Uh-huh.
So tourist price is you don't know any better, you hardly dicker at all, and they'll just charge you.
You think, oh man, that's cheaper than the U.S.
And
But is it?
and you'll think that's a good price.
Yeah.
Then the gringo price is okay, so you're still a gringo, but you're kind of local now,
Yeah.
and you'll get a better price.
Yeah.
But you'll never get the same price as a Mexican gets.
Never.
Mexican to Mexican.
Never.
That's really the lowest price.
Yeah.
Then you have to deal, Papa Drew. Are you dealing with a contractor? Are you going to self-contract? I have a good little document I bought on how to build in Mexico. So if you were a contractor, what are some of the things to look at? Um, so I'd be happy to share that. It didn't cost too much. It's a PDF. I'd be happy to share it. And it's getting dated, but things don't change very fast in Mexico in terms of rules and regulations. Yeah, San Felipe, I tell you, it was beautiful. We were sorry that we couldn't stop and stay there. Definitely a resort town. Like, how can I say? Like little lake towns, little resorty summer. towns that only seem to explode in the summertime, because of the tourists and camping and cottage country. San Felipe had a
It
cottage,
was cute.
lake, beach feel to it.
Yeah.
And
It was beautiful. Actually, that's where because of the rats in our truck, and they were urinating on the batteries and stuff. That's when we realized that the battery was failing. Was in San Felipe.
yeah, the battery cracked and we were getting a really bad rotten egg
We're
smell.
like, oh my God, this place smells so bad, and here was the battery.
Yeah. So yeah, quick AutoZone stop and
Yeah.
a new battery, and we were on
Oh,
our way
you
again.
okay?
Yeah, that was quite the
Okay.
trip home because what is it? First day we got a flat, and I think there was
It
something.
was almost like the universe saying,
Don't go
"Do
home.
you really want to go
Yeah,
home?
don't go home.
Do ya?"
Uh, yeah, we should all. So yeah, first day we got a flat, and then I think the third day the battery cracked, and
Oh man,
I
it
don't know if
was.
there was anything else after that.
I thought there was three things.
Yeah, the slide, one of our
The
slides
slide,
was
yeah,
getting out of sync, and
yeah. Somebody had I was on a live stream nighttime. Oh my gosh, who was it that had a slide problem? And they ended up having to pay uh out of pocket because the insurance wouldn't pay. Who was that? I forget now. My mind is, there's just so many people. I've been running so many playlists I can't. Anyway, yeah. So our slide failed too. Not
it didn't
not
fail.
as
It
bad.
was getting out of
Yeah,
sync.
it was definitely out of sync though.
And every day that we had to open it, and every
Stop.
morning that we had to close it,
Don't
it's
do
like
that.
we were just worried that eventually it
Good.
would jam. It would get kinked and jam. Uh, but on that one, so what we did discover with that one, and I think I had watched a video on that, and I just didn't follow the advice. What you don't want to do with a slide, and we did this a lot, unfortunately, is that you don't want to stop the motors. Once you start, you don't want to stop opening or closing the slide. Now, because when our slides are closed, you can't get in here. A lot of times we'd have to stop it because something shifted or fell, or we wanted to go look to make sure nothing was in the way.
Thin Blue Lane. Sorry, I just saw it. Thank you. Someone in the chat said Thin Blue Lane is the one.
That just did the video,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
on the composting
And
toilet.
also Papa Drew. Basically, what you call that land is where you just want to park an RV as raw land. Ours was very raw. It was uh, cactus, rock
Yeah,
cactus,
unserviced. I
on
mean,
bush. That's it. Yeah, there's no services. We don't have any. We don't even have power out to where we are. There's people that are there already that are building, but they're all going to be solar anyways
yeah,
right now.
there's
So
no power. There's no intention of having
no
power there. Maybe in our lifetime, maybe they'll bring the lines in.
water. There's not even water,
There's no
and you
water.
can't get water rights anyway.
Yeah.
You want to talk about that?
Well, water has to be trucked in. It's always trucked in. In the cities, it's piped in. If you're
No,
on,
but remember what Cheryl said about water? You have to have water rights.
oh yeah, forget about having a well. Like
No,
that's never gonna happen.
never.
It's,
Unless you're Mexican and you know people.
okay. So yeah, I mean, you can use any type of land, but you got to be careful. If you buy in a town, no, do you really want to buy in a town? So
No.
you want to go on the outskirts of town where usually the land is bigger, but again, you got to make sure that it's a proper subdivision with fair title. A lot of this land is passed family to family and it's subdivided informally, and
That's how we got ours.
ours was subdivided properly, and
But the family owned it.
but it was
Yeah.
subdivided properly
Hmm.
with surveys and land titles, and whereas there's hundreds of lots around us up in the hills, and we found out that basically all the Mexicans that own those probably don't own them. It's probably paperwork's bad. There's no clear title
Yeah.
up there.
It's almost like squatters up there. They don't really own them. Yeah, it was Thin Blue Lane.
Yeah, rat attack. And you know what? We couldn't get rid of that. We just couldn't get rid of them. We tried poisoning them. So now we picked up the ultrasonic, sensors or buzzers or whatever to keep them away. So we hope that's going to work. And we'll see what we can do. But definitely we're going to cover our batteries this time. Put something on the batteries,
Yes.
and then put the poison on whatever that is.
We had so many suggestions, but it's like it's gonna happen. You have to deal with it when it happens.
And it probably took a month, of laying the poison out, and then every morning they were gone. And it was rare that there was crumbs there. So at one point there was kind of like where the distributor cap was, or the cover, the engine cover. There was an indentation there, and I just kept putting more. 4, 2 on each side, then 4 on each side, and then 8 on each side. And about a month into this, I was wondering, where is all the poison going? And these guys aren't dying. They went and hid it somewhere, because there was a whole pile of it in this indentation on the engine, on the top of the engine. So there was a pile of poison there, poison pellets. So it's like, damn these things. We just could not get.
You can't kill them.
Can't kill them.
Well,
Can buy lots on the beach for 15,000. Maybe a small lot. I don't know. Depends how much frontage you have, right? It's all relative.
Yeah.
There are, when you are on the kind of sand dune kind of beach front, there's a few extra rules there in terms of building. There's a few extra precautions or things, more hoops you got to jump through to actually build right on the beach, but it's not undoable. You have a builder or somebody you can work with down there, you can get through these hoops. You just got to make sure. They tend to cut corners down there. It's like they can get around it.
Yeah, you got to make sure that you are measured properly. What did you say?
Yeah.
Surveyed properly.
Yeah, surveyed properly, but things about protecting the sand and the ecosystem and the dunes, and
yeah,
things like that, where you can and cannot do. Where you put a pool on, in the sand, on the beach or in the dunes. So there's definitely different type of construction. I mean, you have to build it on stilts.
absolutely.
You're not on cement foundation at that point.
Yeah.
So that's one there. We're 56 past the hour, so we're gonna start wrapping this down. Let's see. I'm trying to go and see how many people are here. Why can I? 5. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay, there it is. Yeah. So it's our first one. We still can't seem to find a slot where there is nobody. So this Wednesday live chat is going to be moving around until we can find our own slot, and then we'll stick with it.
Just don't like stepping on other people's toes.
We might make it later because then more people it'll be after work for most people.
Yeah.
There seem to be 6 o'clock seem to be open, 6 o'clock Mountain, 8 o'clock Eastern.
Yeah.
So we just may move to that slot for next week. So let us know what you'd like to see. We can, we don't really have a format. Today was really about setting the live chat, branding and banners and all that wonderful stuff.
Papa Drew said you can have my slot. I have to moderate for Wayward Wags. Oh, I see.
I see. Okay. Any other questions before we wrap up today? And
I think that's it.
Yeah.
Anywho.
Oh, not that one. That's 2. So actually, I will add this one back in. We'll go here. So keep in mind, there's lots of information down in the description area. So after the video, go have a read through that. There's a lot of information about Tumbleweed RV Life, how it came to be, and what we do, and where we come from, and what we support, and our social media, and all wonderful information.
All that stuff.
Some backstory back there. So have a look at that. Any contribution to our PayPal account, 100% goes to our causes. which is dog rescues in Cabo and San Jose and feeding Los Cabo kids. So 100% of that. Amanda is here. I didn't even know she was here.
Yeah,
I
she
didn't.
was watching.
Yeah, well, that's great. Nice. Hi, Amanda. And
Harper wants to know when Grandma's coming back.
when Grandma's coming back,
When
at
Nana's
like
coming.
6 o'clock West Coast time. Oh, so okay, 9 o'clock Eastern, a little later.
Oh,
That's getting a little late. We'll try to find a slot.
that's our bedtime, Papa Drew.
I think we'll try 5 o'clock West Coast Pacific.
Oh.
We'll try that one. See who we step on. Yeah, in this case, we were kind of at the same time as KNR. You know, we don't want to do that. You know, these are all great channels. We're kind of probably the last ones at the game, and we'll find something that hopefully works for everyone. That being said,
Roy only goes one time a month.
What, KNR?
No, Papa Drew says he only goes once a month.
Okay. I go like once a month. Well, we're trying to go twice a week. We're trying to get our hours, um, I guess, naturally, instead of, you know, like we reached 2,600 hours, just people watching our videos.
That
So
was awesome.
and
Thank
and
you guys
and
very much.
and we'd like people to watch our videos. It's nice to get live, you know, people going through our playlists, and that's wonderful. But we also encourage you to kind of watch our videos, especially now if you hit the bell and see our videos as they come out. We're
Mhm.
trying to put effort into them to make them interesting and fun and well produced.
Yeah.
So we'd be happy for you to actually watch the
Yeah,
videos
and
too.
Gina did mention something which you knew before is to keep them short and sweet, but you know, full of stuff,
Yeah.
because the shorter the better. It keeps your attention span, and it's like that.
Okay, Harper, are we going over to say?
Oh, is Harper wanting us to
Yeah,
go over?
no, she wants to know when we're coming over.
Oh, okay. I guess so.
Yeah, I guess
You
we'll
can
come
tell
over.
Harper will come.
Yeah, we'll come
Nana
by.
and Papa will come see.
We'll come by. And so that was fun. So this is the first travel segment. We'll do it again. We'll do a little bit more research next time. Leave your questions in the comments after the chat, and that'll give us some ideas for the next one.
And if Papa Drew can tell us when he wants to do that live chat with you, or
Yeah, absolutely. I got your phone number. Uh, Whenever is good for you, Papa Drew. You could also we can also do a messenger, video too if you got good bandwidth. So on that note, we're almost done. We're gonna be playing our outro. I meant to play it on the intro, but the they're they're very close together on the selection list, and I hit the old one. So let me play the old one. Hang on, and then I'll come back and play the new one. Okay, so the chat is still going to continue. Don't go away because we're not actually leaving yet. Okay. Okay, old outro. All right. And look, we're both back. We're back. Okay. And we'll leave you with the new outro, and have a look near the end. You'll see where we've kind of cordoned off the house. You'll see the 2 tanks and the palapa, the shade, and all that. And
it shows more of what we've cleared on the land and stuff. So
it's kind of a time sequence,
yeah,
of us in Mexico at the land, since we arrived in Mexico.
Every time I see it, I want to go back.
It hurts. It really hurts.
It does.
Yeah. So we got alternative plans, but that'll be for the next time.
Can't tell you yet.
Okay. Well, hey, thanks for joining us, and we'll find a new slot for Wednesday, and we're always on Saturday morning. At 9 a.m. Mountain Time, 11 a.m. Eastern. So we'll catch you on the next one.